really only tint your car one time, so you want to do it right and have the right person do it. Rick has this really cool device that I've never seen today to show you what high quality film versus subpar film is like, which was on my car behind me that we got rid of. You want the install to be done properly, protect the dash, any electronics. You don't want anything going wrong. All there's slip solution everywhere. It's a very wet process, and there's a lot of electronics on cars, as you know, and you need someone to do it right to protect your vehicle. I picked a film that is unique to me today that actually matches the color of the car in a way that is cool, that I think you'll pick up on and maybe act on for your vehicle specifically as a nice little detail. Rick shows us what a true high quality job is like with his team and his ways, and I skimmed through the last 2 tint videos and figured out what some common questions were, and so if you stick around till the end, we'll have a lot of questions answered. You'll get an idea of what a high quality process is like. Let's get into it.
Hey, it's Rick from Cactus Window Tint, Scottsdale, Arizona. Visiting with Cam, just kind of going over some options that suits Cam's needs for his car. So that was the whole idea today, was to make sure we're doing exactly what he wanted and to kind of figure out what his vision is and then bring it to life.
What do we have here, Rick?
So this is the Spectrum Detective, and what it tells you is UV protection, visible light, so how much light's being transmitted through the film, and how much infrared heat it's doing that it gets through the film. So infrared heat's what you feel. This is probably one of the more accurate meters out there. It's not cheap, it's like 550 bucks. We spare no expense here at Cactus. So we're gonna check it out. This is what's currently on the car that Cameron purchased already. The guy that had the car did a lot of stuff to this, so I'm sure this film's no slouch. So we're gonna see what it is. So UV is good, visible light 39%, so it's within Arizona legal limit. Infrared 17%, which that's okay. We're gonna beat that.
Yeah,
let's go walk over and look at this car that we did, and we'll test the infrared on the car that we did. This one has Spectra Photo Sync, so let's see here. Oh, 1%. This film claims to block 99%. I'd say that's pretty accurate.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and it's 0 UV. So this kicks that film's butt pretty easily.
A lot.
This thing doesn't lie, it tells the truth.
That's pretty rad.
Isn't it, dude?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's worth 550 bucks to show people.
Right, so I bought this specifically so that I could test for myself on what our films are doing. Because yeah, the manufacturers tell me one thing, but until I see it for myself, you know, it's nice to know. So yeah, pretty cool device.
A common question out there was, can you match tint on just 2 windows in the front or the back, wherever? We actually did that on my Mustang, and Rick helped me do that. We put some 3M film on, and the things you can look for is just have a blue color, a brown color, or like a black color, and you can pick the right film appropriate to match the vehicle. So you absolutely can match it. You can pick the shade, and that's what's so great about Rick's showroom, is you can see everything. He'll help you pick out how to match something like that. So to answer the question for a couple of you out there that may be thinking about it, yes, you can match a certain section of your vehicle to the already existing tint that was applied by a dealer or another tint shop. With the windshield tint being an added expense, you don't want to break a windshield right away, and if you have chips already in it, you should get them sealed like I need to. So we're gonna go to Blue Chip Auto Glass and have them fill it and take a little bit of insight of what that process is like, so that there's no chance of me walking out in the morning after it's been cold or hot and the glass expanded or contracted, or the car expanded or contracted and caused the glass to shoot a line across it from one little small crack you couldn't even see, and next thing you know, your brand new tinted windshield's ruined.
Hang on a little bit. Now, you're never supposed to go in deeper than the drill bit.
It's like the dentist.
Exactly. I always see this as like surgical work or dental hygiene. This is the part where it's probably going to make visually the most difference for you. There you got on top. Now, this is going to sound scary.
Nah.
Okay. And I hate this sound.
Papa Smurf called, wants his car back. Ow, son of... Don't get old, people. Stay young. It looks faster.
Hey, Rick, are you sure you know how to drive stick?
Yeah, I have a man card. Thank you. Because there's lint, well, felt. It's felt is messy and it flicks into the tint. Unless you get all the glue off, it'll show up. The glue's clear. So if there's glue in there and you retint it, it's gonna show up and then it's gonna look like poop.
Tint choice, want to cut out a lot of heat, but I don't want to go too dark. Best option.
Best of the best,
Yep.
Spectra PhotoSync IRD, Prestige Film Technologies. You want something on the lighter side, I'd probably recommend the 45, which is this one right here. Legal limit in Arizona is actually 32%. This is legal, this would be slightly lighter, easy visibility at night, excellent performance. It's still 74% heat rejection, which is super, super good. Infrared, which is what you feel, is 98%. UV is 99.5, UVA, UVB. So it'll give you all the attributes of a dark film and perform super good, and it won't compromise any of your night vision. It'll give you a nice European look on the car. Very clean, very distinguished, very businesslike.
You talked about brownish color versus blue, and this car being blue or brown, does that factor into choosing what film?
Absolutely. Window tint's a very personal item. Your vision on the car is what we try and capture. So you tell us what's important to you here at Cactus, and what we want to do is take that based on what you're giving me, and then I'll say, hey, this might be a good thing for you. So yes, this is a more blue-gray film. A lot of window films traditionally are brown, believe it or not. Look at a car and it looks black, like the windows look black, but then you're on the inside looking out, it's brown. Kind of dingy and kind of dirty if you think about it. Not a lot of films have a clean, true gray or a bluish look, which is very refreshing. Sky is blue, you know what I mean? In some cities anyway, you want to make sure it's blue. It's nice. But this stuff kind of goes with that car, in my opinion, but it's all about you. It's all about the information you gave me to guide you. Ultimately, you have to pick your shade. I can't pick your shade and go, okay, you leave here and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't see at night, or it's too light or too dark. You own your shade here. You know what I mean? That's the one line in the sand that we draw. We make you pick it because it's personal to you.
With this being on the high end of the spectrum, what is Cactus Tint approved on the more entry level?
We do offer a less expensive option. For instance, I mean, most cars with the Prestige gets pretty pricey. So, I mean, 800 bucks in most cars is no drop in the bucket. That's not including the windshield or the sunroof. I mean, for instance, Suntech CXP, Eastman Kodak, you've all heard of Kodak, they make this product. It's the largest window film manufacturer in the world. This film is no slouch. Even it's just our basic stuff, it ranges from 400 bucks a car. It works really well. It's a carbon-based film, so it's not ceramic. You know, a lot of people lose that term and they focus solely on ceramic window film. What makes this film work good is that it's got a thin layer, a nano layer, and it blocks 70% of the infrared heat. So it performs well, goes darker. In my opinion, it has a little bit of a brownish hue to it, so like we were talking about, but it works good. And for a $400 budget, which is no small change, I mean, it's still a lot of money, but it's a great product. Here's the blue tint to go with the blue Smurfmobile. Keep the trend going. They say blue window tint makes you blow by your competition. I know. Soapy water. The whole idea behind cleaning the window, you're only as good as what the surface is. If you don't get all the slip solution off and you leave any kind of dirt and debris and lint in it, then it shows up in the surface of the film. So you want to make sure it's clean, get as much of the slip solution off as possible, and make sure, especially with the strip and tint, to make sure there's no glue and no remnants of that other film remaining. So it's pretty important that you know how to squeegee well, unlike that little streak that I just did. This is what we call old school. When you're old like me, you do it this way. You minimize the crutches that are created in the society that we live in. When I used to tint cars out of my garage, I used to do it like this. Like, you know, you're not using a glass table to peel the film. You're using your mouth and your hands, and it's a little primitive, and some guys say old school is a forgotten way, but it still works for me, so. But the technique that I'm putting it in is called bottom feeding, so it's a little bit more modernized, if you will.
Lining it up right now?
Yeah, the top edge. So this squeegee gets the extra moisture out of it, really gets you more leverage on it so you can, you know, squeegee it harder. So this is the first stage of the adhesive curing. So you'll see a haze from the outside. Once that cures, then the second stage of the adhesive cures, which is the permanent one, which makes it really stick to the glass. To explain this window in comparison to the Mustang, this window is framed, so there's a big frame on it. We've micro-edged it so the film goes right to the very edge. It's still very clean and very tight. However, if the window is frameless, like a Mustang or a Tesla, what we do is we oversize the pattern and then we actually shave the film at the edge or file it to the edge. It makes it look like we dipped the window. This is still what's called micro-edging, so it's right to the edge. We just want to make it a little bit better. A lot of people do what we do, but not a lot of people do what we do and how we do it. So carry good products, execute, do a good job, be nice to people. See, Cam, it's right to the edge. Rolling it down to take the tape out because you don't want the tape in there. And then what we're gonna do is put it together.
Questions from the viewers. Is there optical quality differences with different films, or is it placebo?
For instance, if you tint a windshield, which isn't legal, there are several different qualities of film out there. So there's the baseline, non-expensive film that you can look through and has a texture to it. So at nighttime is usually the issue where the texture, you can see it. When there's headlights, you'll see the texture of the film a lot. Some films are just manufactured differently. Usually the higher end stuff has a higher scrutiny when they're going through the quality control process, and their films don't have a texture to it. So the quality optically, yes, can be much greater, much better, in a better quality product, for sure.
If the viewer is looking for a high quality tint job with all the details that you have and they're not in Phoenix, Arizona and cannot come to you, what do you recommend them asking their tint shops in their area to make sure that they're a quality installer? To your spec.
Okay, so the things that I would look for as a consumer in a tint shop that's gonna do my car is one, experience. Experience is crucial. Cars change, you have to kind of be in the front of the curb, and I would look for a shop that specializes in cars. Two, good quality product. If an installer is good, he's probably gonna have good quality products to offer you. And you know, ask them, don't be afraid to ask questions. I think reading reviews nowadays is a good tool to kind of guide you in, you know, what direction you're gonna head. Going to Yelp or using Google reviews. If they don't have any reviews, you know, I think you'll have better luck too with brick and mortar type shops. Some mobile guys are pretty good, but it's always better, in my opinion, to have a brick and mortar place so they can control the environment and keep it clean. You can kind of inspect their shop, see, you know, a good clean quality shop, a good clean working space says a lot about the work they do too, in my opinion. So I would defer to that.
This is the final look inside my garage. As you can see, we chose a film that has a blue color to it, and from a distance, it's just the most subtle detail, but it goes with the flow of the car. It looks cool. There's no brown colors, it's just all blue and white. Even the windshield. I have to say, looking at the back of the camera, it makes it a little bit more dramatic. In real life, it's a little less dramatic as far as the blue color goes. But I'm really pumped on the look. Let's go outside, look at the car as a whole, and I'll show you what it's like driving it with a tinted windshield, because this is the first time I've ever had a tinted windshield myself. Outside view. Inside. It's ever so slight, but on a warm day, the difference in heat coming from right here that travels through the car, you saw the meter, it's next to nothing. So that's a huge benefit for every climate, but especially hot climates like here in Phoenix, Arizona. The final look, this is Prestige Technologies Spectra PhotoSync IRD, infrared radiation dispersion, 55% windows, 70% on the windshield. I used to go a lot darker in the past, but I wanted to go a little bit lighter with this car, and I'm super happy. With film of this caliber, I'm getting all the heat rejection and then some of anything super dark, but having complete visibility. And one thing that I want to make note of for you is when you have windows this clear, you know, not dark, it makes the car feel very spacious. And that's why I'm going lighter these days. When I was younger, I liked the darker because of the look, but it's very claustrophobic feeling. So that's why I chose what I did, and it matches the car great. I did a 3M film instead of this Prestige on my Mustang a couple years ago. Check out this video right here if you want to go see the process. And we matched it to some factory tint. So this was a super cost-effective project for a high-quality end result. And the frameless windows, you get that edge just right with a file. Go check it out. It's super satisfying, and a lot of people enjoyed this process.